We have had a lot of deluxe editions announcements lately, and I kind of think it's becoming a problem. Let me explain. Hello brothers and sisters, my name is Daidarius, and today I'm gonna talk about the just avalanche of deluxe editions we are getting upon our hands. I mean, just at the top of my head, by the top of my head, I mean reading straight from the phone, we have gotten Daidarius, Slam Dunk has been announced, Pokémon Adventures, Attack on Titan, Witch Hat Atelier, Lone Wolf and Cub, yes, that was last year, and lately, these absolute juggernauts of series, we have Gantz, which has been something I have been longing for years to get the deluxe editions, and something I did not see coming. Phoenix, yes, that one. Phoenix is getting a deluxe edition, and you may wonder, what is the issue? Because Daidarius, aren't you always proclaiming that you just love hardbacks? And yes, you're absolutely right. I would trade every single paperback in my collection for a hardback. More so, a deluxe editions in a heartbeat if I could. Sure, some of them I could already change, but I mean, it's too much hassle. I mean, I have 63 volumes of Pokemon Adventures paperbacks. It's gonna be a lot of work just to get it in deluxe editions, but if it wasn't for that, yes, I would definitely trade all of it. So what is the issue? If we are only bringing not just new series in deluxe editions or hardbacks, but also only bringing back older series that has already been released in hardback, paperbacks are gonna become lost media. And I hate lost media. I'm pretty sure most of you does that as well. And I know it is expensive to keep a format of in this case, manga in print if it doesn't sell enough. You need a certain amount of people actually buying the volumes for it to be profitable to keep printing it, because, well, printing a volume costs money and you need to bring the costs down by selling a lot more. I get that, but it's still a big issue because, yes, I love hardbacks, I love deluxe editions. It is the only thing I actually want, but other people might not feel the same way. I know for a fact that a lot of people out there prefer singles to deluxe editions, or just in case, hardbacks. They love the way it feels, they love the way it looks, they love the way that, or the fact that it doesn't cost a fortune to buy it. If you're just gonna bring it back to the readability for just a brief moment, just the physicality of reading a paperback is so much different than a hardback. The way the cover feels to the fingertips, often a bit cheaper paper, and the fact that when you read it, it bends and you tend to imprint your own personality to it, because, you know, when you're reading it, it scratches. It gets some creases. My most personalized manga volume that I own is this very old Dragon Ball volume 28, the Danish version. It looks banged up as hell for a very good reason. This is the very first volume that I bought, and I have read it hundreds of times, I'm sure. And you can see the history on it. You can see every time that I have, I mean, even the cover has a dent in it. You can see all the times that I've read it. You can see how I read it. I can feel how I normally read volumes just by looking at it. You lose that aspect when you're only having hardbacks. And sure, I wouldn't mind to lose that aspect to have hardbacks only in my collection. But again, other people might feel different. But there's also the fact of original intent from the artist. Yes, they draw the chapters for the magazine format, which is, in more often than not, the deluxe edition size. But they only draw that first draft. The final version is what gets printed in the volume, which means they have to be aware, how does my manga look scaled down in cheap paperbacks. That is the intent. Sure, you can scale it up in deluxe edition and have the highest pristine quality print of the art. But I'm not quite sure that is the original intent when they drew it. Today it's kind of bit more of a mixed bag because they often draw it digitally and then maybe it's just intended to read it digitally with digital manga. But the old ones like Dragon Ball, Fist of the North Star, the early chapters of Berserk and JoJo's, they were drawn analog with the intent to be read in analog format. I mean, I'm pretty sure this Ashton Joe was not intended to be read digitally, even though if you can, but more importantly, I'm also not quite sure it was intended to be read as a thick omnibus hardback. I mean, I enjoy the hell out of it and love the fact that it is in hardback. Just for a brief moment, I hate omnibuses, especially 3-in-1 omnibuses in paperback format, because either they are too thick, they are just bricks, and every time you open it, you're gonna create the deepest dent and crease in the spine, or they are very thin, like my Neon Genesis Evangelion volumes, which just looks like a 2-in-1 volume, but it is 3-in-1s, which means that the paper quality is super duper thin. But if I had to get an omnibus, I would prefer it to be in hardback because it just holds up more over the years. It doesn't get destroyed as much, which the paperback does. But again, I'm pretty sure that the artists didn't intend for the story to be read in this way, even if they appreciate, if they could, I don't know, I'm not sure if they're alive, but I'm pretty sure they would appreciate it for the manga to be displayed in the highest quality format. But it also means that if everything is gonna be deluxe edition, now we just kinda gatekeeping, but with cost. Because sure, I am a grown man, I have a full-time job, I have disposable income I can spend on manga, which is why I do it. But most people who buys and enjoys manga is not adults. It is kids and teenagers. Yes, there is actually manga for adults. Berserk is one of them. Naoki Urasawa's just everything he does is also seinen, which is targeted to adults, but most of it is aimed at younger kids, and more often than not, younger kids does not have a lot of money on their hands, so it is quite sparse what they can actually acquire. Sure, they will grow up and probably want to still keep collecting manga, and when they get a job, hopefully they have disposable income to spend on it. But not all adults are so lucky that they have that money on hand. There is a lot of responsibility for adults out there, and manga is just quite low on that list. So even if we take kids out of the equation, even if they make up the majority of the target audience, not everyone is gonna be able to afford having all of their manga, or at least all of their favorite manga, being in very expensive deluxe editions, which brings on a different point, which is not only are we experiencing that some series get announced only in a deluxe edition, but we also have older series that gets fake reprints, I will call it, in deluxe editions. Gantz is one example. You can still buy the omnibus bricks, paperback bricks, and then we will get the deluxe editions and you can buy those too. But you know what you can't buy? The singles. The singles has become a lost media. And that sucks, because I know most people out there would definitely prefer to own the singles over the omnibuses. Even if the omnibuses is a cheaper commitment, yes, people who are low on income, or at least have not that much disposable income, would prefer to buy the cheaper option, because at least they can still get to enjoy the manga that they love. But the majority who are not in that camp would prefer the singles because they look more awesome, they're easy to read, they don't break as often. But now you can't, because Dark Horse refuses to reprint it. It is either the paperback brick or the deluxe editions. There's no in between. The same goes for Phoenix. Phoenix has been out of print for years, even over a decade. From this, now Now you can actually get it by different company, Kodansha, in deluxe format. No paperbacks, no omnibuses, I'm sorry, no reprints, only deluxe edition. So if you're gonna own that, you're gonna have to pay up. So instead of you actually having an active call in what type of collection you actually want, do you want it to be paperbacks? Do you want to be singles only? Do you want to be omnibuses because you don't have a lot of money? Do you want to be hardbacks? Or do you want it to be a mixture? Well, if companies continue to do this, you're not gonna have a choice. It's gonna be hardbacks, all of it. I mean, there's a bit of an over-dramatification, but still. That is the route it goes because they sell more. It has this ring to it. Deluxe edition. We sell premium manga. You don't need to buy from these other publishers. No, we got the premium stuff. Only thing you need. But that also means that, let's say, you are, like me, considering going into a series. I consider going into Gantz. For a very long time, I considered buying the singles. For a very long time. Even if they're out of print, you can still get them on the internet for a lot of money. But I didn't want to commit. Why? Well, because what if they're gonna get the deluxe edition? The same goes with Slam Dunk. I want Slam Dunk. I really want Slam Dunk. But I was not trying to commit to getting Slam Dunk. Because what if it's gonna get a deluxe editions like Vagabond did? And lo and behold, it has been announced that yes, we are indeed gonna get a Slam Dunk Deluxe edition. Who the thunk? I was actively not buying series and supporting them because I feared that they were gonna release a deluxe edition of that series later on. If you don't support the releases of the series, there is a high risk of the publisher actually just dropping the license because it's not selling well. It was that was one of the main reasons why Gantz have taken so long to actually get the deluxe editions, was because people were not buying the bricks. They weren't, because everyone had the same thought as me. Much rather have a deluxe edition. But the only thing we are signaling to the publisher is that people do not like this series. Even though that is not the case. That is the only thing to see, because money talks. Let's just flip that. Let's say you do buy it. You invest in this. Even though you would much prefer it to get in deluxe editions. Let's say I start buying One Punch Man. I would much prefer to get it in deluxe edition because Murata's art is awesome. And then I've bought all of it. And I've committed to the series for a couple of years. I've kept up with it, and then suddenly it is announced that you're gonna get the deluxe edition. Now you suddenly maybe gonna feel regret. Is it gonna change your experience with other series going forward? Are you gonna hesitate because you've been burned before? Damn, you're gonna get burned again. Or are you just gonna have to deal with it and maybe sell what you have to now invest in the deluxe edition? I did that once. And I did it with Witch Hat Atelier. I only had to sell 5 volumes, but because I live in Scandinavia, it took forever to sell these. Because people don't buy manga as often, and if they do, they buy it in store. Don't buy it second hand. I don't care if those volumes have never been opened. Don't trust you. I don't want second hand manga. So there's a reason why I'm keeping my Pokemon Adventures singles, even if I really want to have the deluxe editions. Pokemon is also the rare occasion where I'm pretty sure Viz is gonna keep printing all the editions they have. They have the singles, which I own. They have the small pocket versions, which is mostly the newer series. They have the perfect edition, and soon they're gonna have the deluxe edition. But it's only because it sells stupidly well. Other series are not that fortunate, just like Phoenix. I mean, what the shit? So I'm not selling that. I did it with Witch Hat Atelier because they got the announcement of the deluxe editions. But if I had been 10 or 11 volumes deep, I would have just hated myself for pulling the trigger when I did, because it happened before. But that also begs the question. I have been talking doom and gloom for a long time now, so I'm gonna wrap it up. So what's the solution? I think Pokemon is the answer. Pokemon is always the answer. But Pokemon is definitely the answer in this case, because we want to have singles, we want to have omnibuses, and then the weird ones like me, we want our hardbacks, our deluxe editions. And the main takeaway is that for manga to thrive for all demographics, we need to prioritize to keep the cheaper options alive. That means whenever we get it announced for a new series that people have been wanting for a long time, we cannot just get it in deluxe editions no matter how much I would prefer that. We need to get it in the cheaper options as well. And also because people prefer different formats. And who knows, maybe we are actually gonna have a deluxe editions of Kingdom once I have bought everything. I'm gonna hate that, but at least I will own it in the original format. And that's gonna count for something. And it also, my collection is not gonna be predictable and boring because I have all kinds of formats. And I think that type of personality is also important to keep alive. But what do you think? Do you think it is an issue that more and more publishers is just announcing deluxe editions left, right, and center? I mean, I haven't even touched on the majority of them. Or do you actually want them to not just announce series in paperbacks, but more importantly, keep older series alive? When they revive them, reprint the old singles, maybe in updated scans and updated translations, but keep the paperback singles. So, are you in the paperback camp? Are you in the deluxe camp? Or are you in a mixture? I would love to hear what you think. But what do you think? Comment below on your thoughts. So, still seeing you next video. Just remember to stay awesome. See ya.